Good morning, wonderful caregivers. I am Carol Howell with Let's Talk Dementia. I'm glad you've chosen to join me. My screen just popped up and said low connection. Oh my goodness, why did it do that? Technology. Oh, it'll drive you crazy. But anyway, I'm glad that you're here. Today we're going to talk about dementia and dementia caregiving like we do every Monday through Thursday at 8:15 right here. And then we post this on YouTube. It's on our website and it's also on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. A special shout out to you folks there watching, and thank you. You're already writing in with comments, and I'm happy to hear from you wherever you're watching us. And you can write me at carol@letstalkdementia.org. A shout out to our sponsors who help finance our ministries. HD Imports, located on Flint Street Extension in Rock Hill, South Carolina. They are wonderful mechanics for Honda, Hyundai, Acura, Toyota, and Kia. Honest, hardworking, and very talented people. 803-985-0985 is their number. Tell them Carol sent you. Beth Crosby, editor extraordinaire, and you can find her at editorbeth.com. Tell her Carol sent you and that you need help with what you are producing in the written form. She'll keep you straight on all those new grammar changes. They're going to drive me crazy. You should not change the rules of grammar. I'm just going to tell you that. And National Association of Veterans and Families, they speak veterans, so you don't have to. If you need help obtaining benefits for the veteran or the spouse of the veteran, those are the folks you need to talk to. 1-800-352-2919, and you can find them at www.navf.org, and be sure and tell them Carol sent you. You'll be glad you called them. Good people. Everybody that advertises with us, good people. It's the only people we want to hang out with, right? Well, I wanted to be sure and do a little commercial for myself. Reminisce and Worship is our newest book. It is a 30-day devotional geared towards that person with dementia. They can work through it very easily on their own, or you can sit down as the caregiver and work with them. Now, this is a book I haven't shown you in a while. If My Body is a Temple, Why Am I Eating Donuts? Don't you think that's a funny title? I do. But it is a 90-day devotional that tells the story of the fact that I've lost 100 pounds. And yes, I still got more pounds to lose. We're not going to talk about that today. But it is kind of my take on what the scriptures have to say about your temple. That temple where the Lord resides and what you should do to take care of it. Of course, we've got to remember, too, that everything we do to this temple, or we don't do for this temple, has a direct effect on our health. And that is very true when it comes to Alzheimer's and the other dementias and preventing them. Read an article over the weekend about, and we're going to talk about this in more detail one day, but 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise. Now, folks, that's only like 20-something minutes a day. That's not a lot. But 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise can reduce your chances of Alzheimer's type dementia dramatically. So much so that even if you are exposed and have the APOE4 gene, not exposed, I should not have said that word, carrier of the APOE4 gene. That is the gene that if you have it, you have a 50% increased chance of Alzheimer's if you have one copy of it. If you have two copies of it, it ain't good for you. But if you have one copy of the APOE4 gene and you exercise 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week, it pretty much negates that gene. What? That's what the study has shown, and they've been doing these studies repeatedly and coming back with the same information. So get yourselves out there and work. You know, moderate exercise means that while you're doing it, you couldn't sing. Well, you could, but it wouldn't sound so good. Now, if that's true because you just can't sing, don't use that as your guide. But if when you're singing, you're out of breath like that, that's moderate exercise. Well, I'm getting more than that every day because, by gum, I am fighting everything I can to not have Alzheimer's continue in this part of my family. But you can find our show, our podcast that you can listen to about dementia. I'm just stuttering around this morning. On our website, it's also on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Player FM, and Listen Notes. So you can find our podcast and this show. We've got lots of good info. Well, today I want to talk to you about telling great big golly whoppers. Now, you know when you were growing up, every time you told a fib, your mama knew it. I mean, you thought she didn't know it, but she could just tell by looking at your little face that you had said something that you knew was not true. So you learn not to do that. Besides the fact the scripture tells us, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Well, I want you to stop and think about that scripture a moment. Thou shalt not bear false witness. What's the next word? Against. Okay, I'm all for that. I dig that. I would never argue with scripture. I'm too smart of a girl to argue with scripture. It's divinely inspired. Knows a lot more than I do. But that scripture does say not to bear false witness against someone. All right, so let's take that into the dementia caregiving journey. And how does that play out? Well, therapeutic fibbing is that process whereby we say what we need to say to our person with dementia that will bring them from a point of potential agitation or anxiety or whatever reason they might be upset into a place of calm and peace and smiles and happiness. Now, which do you think you want to hang out around? Somebody with dementia who's agitated or angry or upset for whatever reason, or somebody with dementia who's happy and calm and relaxed? Well, let's even take dementia out of that equation. Who do you want to hang around with in general? And I would say we all would rather be around people who are relaxed and happy and enjoying life. So we need to think about how to make that happen. Now, you guys know that when your wife walked in with that new pair of blue jeans on or dress pants on and she said, do these pants make my butt look big? You knew you would never say, oh Lord, you look like you've been melted and poured into them. Take them off. You might have thought it, but you didn't say it. You might have said, honey, you look good. You always look good. Every day I see you, you look good. Now that might be a little bit of therapeutic fibbing because one, you don't want your wife mad at you because she's the only one in the house that knows how to cook, right? So you think about these things in that process of what you say. And that is true with our folks with dementia. I can give you an example of this, how I use this very frequently with my mama. I am very good at therapeutic fibbing, and yes, I'm proud of it. But anytime we would go out of town and we would leave mama for anywhere up to 14 days at one point. I had a couple 2-week trips that we left mama, and I would never tell mama we were going away. Because see, I went to see mama almost every single day, and I definitely talked to her every day or a couple times a day. Now, no matter where I was, I could still call and talk to her, and that was good. And on the phone conversations or anytime I talked to her, I never said I was gone. And if she said, you coming to see me today, Pookie? I'd be, absolutely, Mama, I always come to see you. Knowing good and well I was 12 hours away and not going to see my mama that day. But let's remember, Mama had dementia. And what does Alzheimer's type dementia keep you from doing? Remembering the present. So when she hung up, odds are she was not going to remember she had talked to me. She might have remembered she talked to somebody, but she definitely would not remember the details of that conversation. But what did I do by helping her in saying, yes, Mom, I'm coming to see you today? And did I hurt her in any way? Because remember that scripture says, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. So did I hurt my mom in any way? Well, no, I didn't. I did not give her false hope. Some people might think, well, that's what you did. No, because see, Mama was not going to remember it. But what I did do was give her hope for that minute, for that second maybe, that yes, Carol's coming to see me, and I like that. Now, how did that play out on her for the rest of the day? Did she sit around going, where's Carol? When's Carol going to get here? Carol said she was coming. Y'all look for Carol. No, she didn't do that. And why did she not do that? Because she had dementia. She couldn't remember those things. But what did happen, because I told my mama this story, was it brought calm. It relaxed her. She was happy that she was going to get to see me, as anybody on the planet should be. But it then decreased anxiety and agitation, chances for depression. And that went on for that few minutes in my mama's life played out in the rest of her day by being a little more calm, a little happier. Now, is that bearing false witness against somebody? It is not. That's the same way you want to approach, especially the conversation if they ask you if their mama is alive, or is your daddy alive, or is my daddy alive, or whomever, someone that you know passed. Well, you can say, good gosh, mama, it is 2019 and your mama died in 1986, or your mama died in 1956, or whatever. You can do that, and that may be true. You may be right down that gospel line telling the truth. But did you tell them something that's going to make them happy? Or did you just tell them for the very first time, as far as their brain knows, that their loved one has passed? Have you experienced that, finding out that a loved one has passed, when that news hit you, what it felt like? Well, imagine reliving that over and over and over again. And that's what we do when someone who has dementia, and we constantly remind them that someone has passed. It is news to them. They don't remember that. So you don't want to send that information to them repeatedly. Instead, you want to take it in a different direction. So what I would do, because the person my mama asked about the most was her mama. That's pretty common too. She would say, Pookie, is my mama alive? Now, my grandmother died in the early 90s, I guess. And I would say to her, Mama, gosh, Grandma, I love that woman. Last time I saw her, I think she was making fried apple pies. You know, she made the best fried apple pies on the planet. And then we took that conversation to something other than death. So that then I didn't have to make up stories. And even if I did have to make up stories, I don't care. I did not care then. Anything I could do to bring my mama to a point of happiness and smiles. And that's what you want to do. I hope that you don't have a problem with that. I had a pastor's wife who I worked with quite closely regarding her husband, and she said, I just cannot lie to him. And then she thought about it, and she tried it, and she worked with it, and she came back and said, Carol, I've decided to call it divine deception. I said, honey girl, you can call it anything you want as long as it works for you and makes your husband's life better. And that in turn, well, it makes our life better and the lives of those around us. So think about that. Well, thank you for watching today. I'll be back tomorrow at 8:15 right here on Facebook, or you can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, or on our website and on YouTube. Check out our books at Amazon.com and go to our website, letstalkdementia.org. We are a faith-based not-for-profit, and you're so inclined, we could certainly use the donations to help continue to spread dementia education throughout the world. We are in 75 countries, and you can make a donation right there on our page, and it is tax deductible. Yay, yay, yay. All right, special thank you to our sponsors who do finance our ministry. HD Imports on Flint Street Extension, 803-985-0985. Beth Crosby at editorbeth.com, and National Association of Veterans and Families, 800-352-2919, www.navf.org. Tell all these folks that Carol sent you. All right, now go throughout your day today. Be careful how you answer questions. You might need to practice that therapeutic fibbing. Be good to your LO and have a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.